kids podcast.
You can go slow.
A kids podcast about.
Hello, my name is Ari, and I'm a producer for podcasts here at A Kids Company About. We're on a mission to empower a generation of kids through diverse storytelling. And we're doing this through podcasts like the one you're listening to right now. Check out all our books, podcasts, and classes by visiting akidscode.com.
Who is included when we talk about family?
When I talk about family, I tend to include the people that, love me and have been around me all my life. A lot of those are blood, kin-related folks, people that I would call by my family tree, my aunt, my uncle, my brother, and my cousin. But for a lot of the people that I call family, they have no blood relation to me whatsoever. But they've been integral to my upbringing, spoke truth to me when I needed it, maybe not when I wanted it, and have always been there when I needed them.
Steven hit it out the park. I think it's like blood relation is the people that you interact with when you're traveling. Like you could connect that way when you move to a new location. I think it's a community of people that you gather around like your journey through life.
Welcome to A Kid's Book About, the podcast. I'm Matthew. I'm a teacher, a librarian, and I'm your host. It's the third episode in our special series with the authors and illustrators of our A Little Book About series. Many of you listening have younger brothers and sisters, nieces and nephews, neighborhood friends, and new to the neighborhood faces. And while this series is intended for kids ages 0 to 4, we know that many, many of you are the ones who read to those young learners and help to build those special bonds. The topics we cover in this series are universal, which means they are the things that anyone, no matter the age, can connect to. Things like activism and sharing and curiosity. On this podcast, we talk about the big things going on in your world. And today, we're doing that with an author and illustrator team from our A Little Book About series.
Hi, I'm Stephen Green, and I'm the author of A Little Book About Family. My pronouns are he, him, and his.
Hi, my name is Edmund Holmes. I'm the designer and illustrator for A Little Book About Family.
I'm so glad that you're both on the podcast today talking to me about family. I'd love for you to share, if you're comfortable sharing, what your own family looks like. Who's in your family, Mundo?
I have a lot of family. I have a lot of aunts, uncles, cousins, brothers, mom and dad, grandparents, and but I also have like the family that I created in Portland through interaction from like work, art, and everything. So Steven's part of my family. Matt, I think you might be part of my family at some point too. It's like, to me, it's like good people that I can be around and interact with and like not only just enjoy their time with, but like grow with as well. Like family tells you the hard things that you don't want to hear sometime, or they like build you up when you need it. It's just like a support system.
Yeah, and these connections, you're right, are the things that lay the groundworks for growing our family. Stephen, who is in your family? What does your family look like?
My family looks like, the people that live in my house, my wife, my kids that I have a blood relationship with, but also most of my extended family here, especially in Portland, are Black and brown folks that have a shared experience. They're people that my parents met in the 70s when we moved to Portland from San Francisco. And back then, if you were in the grocery store and my mom saw another Black woman, she'd say hi. And lo and behold, 40 years later, those people that I call my aunt and uncle, and we have no blood relation, but they're family. And they're people that I go to bat for and would do anything for. But I think a big piece of how I define family is folks that have shared experiences. And that may be, folks that you meet in college that are in the dorms with you that have very different backgrounds. But you have a moment in time where you have some shared experiences that bring you together.
I'm so grateful of you bringing up those two things. One, that sometimes family starts with just seeing someone and saying hi and recognizing a shared experience, but also on the other side that sometimes it's people that we wouldn't expect we could end up being close with, but we share a moment together and that can draw us in. Stephen, thinking about all of us listeners on this show, do you have any other ideas of how we can welcome people into our family to be that person, even if those families look different from our own? What are ways that we can help draw people in?
I think one of the best ways is to just see people. My dad used to talk about, as I was a kid, in order for someone to be found, someone's got to be looking for them. And I think in order to have family and create those kind of bonds, you've got to acknowledge and accept that you're looking for those folks, and that you don't go through this journey in life by yourself. We all need other people, right? And that doesn't just mean a parent or a boyfriend or a partner, but that's the neighbor across the hallway at your apartment complex. That's the librarian at the library who puts you on to an author that you would have never found otherwise. Those are folks that we share these connections with throughout life that we learn so much from. And so, I think you have to be open to the journey of embracing these other people, whether they're put with you by birth or not, and embrace the strong role that they play in the person that you are today and the person you will be tomorrow.
I like that sentiment that we can't always just sit here and wait for our family to grow, that we have to go out there and help grow our family ourselves by playing that role that we want other people to play with us. Mundo, do you have any other ideas or recommendations for how folks can help grow their family? What's worked for you when you've found people that you feel like you want to be in proximity to them?
I think it's more about being open to receiving people and then understanding like everybody comes from a different perspective, but they also have an opportunity to affect your life in a positive way. Yeah. So just like understanding people's like value is all different, but it can contribute and help your life. And also just being open to like stepping out into new opportunities or like putting yourself in uncomfortable situations. Like I do things that I don't normally do and I meet cool people. And then it's like, I like that person now and I communicate way more now with that person because I stepped out into a new opportunity or my stepped out of my comfort zone and I have a new family now.
I wonder if that helps you grow closer to people when you're being vulnerable like that, stepping outside of your comfort zone. Actually, as I'm talking about being vulnerable, I think making a book is a pretty vulnerable act. And I'm willing to guess that my friend Stephen Green, at least, has not written other books before for 0 to 5-year-olds or their family. So what was that like, Stephen? Did you ever picture yourself as an author of a book or No.
No.
Well, you wrote a really beautiful one. I'm going to just say that.
I had a lot of really great help. Again, I'm going to lean back on the idea that we don't do anything by ourselves. And so, yes, my name is written as the author, but so many people played a role in the words that ended up getting onto that paper, including the amazing illustrations that Mundo was able to create and help bring the feeling across of what I had in my heart and may not have come out as great at times in the words. But a lot of people put in this effort for it to happen. But I never saw myself ever writing a book. But as someone who, is very family focused, has always been a big advocate for kids and being a positive role model in their lives, whether they be the kids in my house or the kids on my street. It's something that definitely spoke to me, and the opportunity to do it. I'm just so thankful, and to do it with family like Mundo and to share in this, someone who I know we share so many of the same values is just an amazing experience, and honestly makes it even better if I had just done it by myself.
Mundo, I know that you make art that is hanging on walls where people work, and that is the art that you make is part of design for products at Nike and other places. Have you done work like this before, though, making illustrations for a book for children? You did it really beautifully.
I have not.
Oh, wow.
I always wanted to do a book, and I've talked about it since I was in college, but I haven't done it yet. I've sketched a lot, but this was a cool opportunity. Stephen brought it up to me, and I was like, oh, I've never done that before. And it was cool, just the whole experience on just going back and forth, bouncing ideas off of. And it's like, it wasn't just me creating these illustrations. Like I put them together, but it was me sharing it, getting feedback and understanding like how to talk to the kids at the age and just making sure it's deliverable and easy to understand. Like the big idea overall is what we're trying to get after.
I think the other thing that was so great about working with the team at A Kid's Book About was they came at it from the standpoint of we have everything we need to write this book. And I think the story that we oftentimes tell ourselves as kids and even as adults is, I'm not ready. I don't have the right background. I don't have the right degree. I didn't grow up in the right family. I didn't grow up in the right part of town. And all those things lead to us not doing a book or us not, reaching for the stars on something. And it was the exact opposite from working with the Kids Book About team. They said, well, you have everything you need. And we're just here to help that come through. And so it went from, I would never write a book to, heck yeah, like, of course I'm going to write a book. And now I'm wondering what the next book's going to be.
I love that. Stephen, do you have a favorite page in A Little Book About Family? A favorite spread? I've got a very specific thing I can't wait to talk about, just being a fan, but I'd love to hear from you.
My favorite spread is definitely brushing the teeth. Oh. My dad and I had a very close relationship, and I love being a father. And so that one just speaks to me of those moments that you share and you don't think about, but they mean so much when you look back to them. So that's my favorite spread. For
the listeners, the spread has what reads as a grown up, a dad and a kid brushing their teeth together. It's a side view, and the father figure is so tall that just the nose and the mouth brushing those teeth are in frame, and the kid looking up at him. It's great. A lot of grimy toothpaste action going on there on those bright, shiny teeth. That's good. Mundo, did you have a favorite spread?
I have two. I would say the large scale where all the faces are there, just talking about how you build family over time. It's like, it's not going to look the same. It's going to grow, whether it's babies, grandparents, and then even just different races. It's going to all change at some point. And I think that one's very important, especially as life goes on and people get married and everything. That one's one of my favorite. And then the other one was the coach. It looks like a coach blowing a whistle. And that part is like, I just remember playing basketball, and it's like my team was part of my family too. But then even just knowing like the impact that your coach could have on you, just like talking to you, whether it's like talking or yelling, it's like the message gets across somehow where you need to run to the baseline and get ready to run. But it's still like those people impact you in different ways, even your family, even your coach.
Yeah. I love the colors that you use in this book. I love all of the great pile up of faces and action and such like vibrant word bubbles and things. There's so much movement in this book. But the thing, Mundo, that I feel like I really love the most of this is that you never have a person in this book looking forward out of the book, but they're always looking off the pages, which to me is something so much about family, that we're always looking outward at who else can I draw in? We're never done and closed. We're always looking out beyond. And I thought every page that you do, as well as I love the symmetry of the first page. What does it mean to be family? And the last page, so who is your family? The symmetry of the design of those two. There were a lot of things that I was just nerding out on a lot that I think whether it's our 10-year-old listeners that are checking out this book or ones with very young siblings or grownups, I think there's just a lot to really delight in here. You both did a beautiful job.
I can say something towards like even just looking across. Before I was speaking on team, the team helped me a lot because I was trying to like, what is a kid's book? I'm gonna just try to draw what I think kids' books are. And it was like using references and how people did it before. But then it was like they told me just do you or stay to your style. And I normally do profile views and everything. So it was like trying to stick closer to that made it a lot easier for me. And then it obviously like you appreciated it as well. Just how you said it, that was pretty deep. Just like looking and building on family versus just looking towards or the outside of it.
And such a great embodiment of, the idea of what we talk about with what makes family. And that's people that embrace you being your authentic self. And the book got better the closer we got to Mundo's true voice. And I think that really, really shows as you go through the spreads. And it's amazing what can happen and how many people can love you for being 1,000% who you are. And I think that's a beautiful spot to be able to get to, is to cut away the fakeness and the things where we feel like we have to make an act and get to like, here's who I really am. And then people will say like, that's dope. Like, I really like that 1,000% version of you. Like, let's keep rolling with that. That's a great recipe for family right there.
You both said such terrific things about family and connection and vulnerability. But I want to give you a chance just to share one last message for those readers and those listeners. If there's a message about family that you'd like to share with them. Stephen, do you have a message for listeners about family?
I think my biggest message about family is to take advantage of the moment. You know, it's easy to want things to be different or better or perfect. But I think that you miss out on that moment, right? You miss out on the moment in the bathroom where you're brushing your teeth with your mom or your dad or your aunt or uncle, or the moment you're able to share with a big brother or big sister. Be present for those and embrace the family that you have, even if it's not the family that you want, so to speak.
Yeah, that's great. Mundo, do you have a message that you want to share about family too? Man,
Stephen keeps hitting it out of the park. It's hard to go after that. It's just like building on it. It's it, like, to me, it's appreciating the little things. It's exactly what Stephen said. Like, appreciate the time that you get to go walk with somebody or play, brush your teeth, hanging with your older brother, or even just eating dinner with somebody. Like, those are special times because time moves on and things change for everybody. So be in the moment, like Stephen said, but also be open to like new opportunities with new family and the same family that you have. Like, be appreciative.
And now, read to you in its entirety, here is A Little Book About Family by Stephen Green and Edmund Holmes.
A Little Book About Family. What does it mean to be family? Your family may live with you or somewhere else. Take care of you when you're sick and play with you when you feel better. Teach you how to brush your teeth or how to ride a bike. They might even take the last piece of cake, especially if it's chocolate. As you get older, your family may even grow, adding new folks over time. Family might become the people who don't have your last name, like the kid at school or the neighbor you play with across the street. Like a grown-up you look up to or someone who helps you out. Family are the people you give a piece of yourself to and look out for. When they hurt, you hurt. When they are happy, you're happy. So, who's your family?
Thank you to Stephen Green and Edmund Holmes, the author and illustrator of A Little Book About Family, for joining us today. You can learn more about this book and others like it by visiting akidsbookabout.com. A Kids Book About, the podcast, is written, edited, and produced by me, Matthew Winner, with help from Chad Michael Snavely and the team at Sound On Studios. Our executive producer is Jelani Memory, and this show was brought to you by A Kids Podcast About. Follow the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and wherever podcasts are found. And if you like this episode, consider sharing it with a friend, teacher, or grown-up. Join us next week for a conversation about activism with Courtney Ahn, author-illustrator of A Little Book About Activism.
Hello, everyone. Ari here. I'm so glad you're here with us listening to this podcast. But today, I wanted to share some fantastic book news. We have a whole bunch of new books in our Kids Book About series shipping soon. And the topics include boredom, identity, leadership, and more. Check them out and pre-order a copy for your home, a friend, or a library by visiting akidsbookabout.com.